Welcome to the Mid-Ohio Valley Public Forum video podcast. This podcast features issues of information and interest to the residents of the Mid-Ohio Valley area. Right now, the coronavirus pandemic has changed civic life greatly throughout our country.
This is an election year, and one of the changes has been that candidates cannot campaign for office the way they normally would. Generally, in an election year, they'd be out there attending fairs and festivals, shaking hands, meeting and greeting folks. They can't do that now.
So many of our initial podcasts will be interviews with candidates for local and state office. We focused on those with primary challenges. So if you're a candidate and you're interested in being interviewed, reach out to us through our Facebook page. That's MOV Public Forum, or via email, movpublicforum@gmail.com.
Today we'll be interviewing Roger Brown. Roger is a candidate for Wood County Commissioner. And Roger, we certainly appreciate you taking the time to talk with us this morning.
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay, so give us your best 1-minute introduction and pitch speech.
I'm Roger Brown. I'm running for the Wood County Commissioner's office. I've born and raised in Parkersburg, lived in Fairmont for 11 years, and then moved back here with my family. And I've worked at John Manville, and then I went into the IBEW, where I retired from. And I have seen a lot of changes over the years. Back when I was 19 years old, we had 13 plants in this town. Today we have one, and it's questionable. So the economic development in this town, one of the reasons why I'm here and running for county commissioner. And raised a family. My wife and I, we had 3 children, 2 grandchildren, and my dad, he's 96 and he still lives here, and he's still getting around, so that was a good thing. So, and I just want the opportunity to serve the people of Wood County.
Well, Roger, all candidates are different. Everyone has different skills, different knowledge and training and background. What do you feel that you have that equips you to serve as Wood County Commissioner and sets you apart from your competition?
Well, for one, I was on City Council from 2013 to 2017. I served as the Vice President of the Parkersburg City Council for 1 term. And then I was on the Finance Committee. I was also on the Public Works Committee and Personnel Committee. And I served for 4 years on City Council. And with that being said, that gives me the knowledge, or a step up on the budgets that we're going to go through as a county commissioner. I've already seen the budgets for both. As far as my personal skills, I've worked in a factory. I've worked retail. I've also been a construction worker. So I maybe you could say I'm jack of all trades. I've done it a little bit of everything. So when they talk to me about a factory, I have an idea of what a factory worker does. When they talk construction, I know what they do. So, and I've been in retail. So I've been blessed that I've been able to work.
So what would you say is your main motivation that made you decide to step up and run for office in 2020? For a different office, I guess.
Well, the economic development. I mean, we need jobs. We need them bad. Infrastructure is also, and the drugs problem that we have in this county. The only way that I think you're going to beat drugs is if you bring in economic development, where people have a chance to go to work. And there's the way to do it is to bring in jobs. And once you get the jobs here and people are working, then the money for the infrastructure will be there to help make our roads better, our bridges better, and because they do need work. And it also helps our volunteer fire departments because they need money. As the county grows, so won't everything else grow, and the needs for not only the sheriff's department and their fire department, but they also need to be remembered when it comes to, and it all bases back right to jobs. If you don't have the jobs, it's going to be awful hard, and you can only tax people so much. So we need the jobs. We need to have economic development.
Well, Roger, what do you think is your wow factor? What is it about you as a candidate that would make someone say, wow, I'm going to vote for that guy?
Well, I never thought anything about a wow. What I would tell you this is I'm honest, and I am not a yes man, and I will do like I did when I was on city council. I represented District 3, but I also represented Parkersburg. And I didn't put my district ahead of Parkersburg. What I put was Parkersburg and our district benefited from it. Parkersburg was first. If it helped Parkersburg, it would help all districts. And the same thing with Wood County Commission. I'm not going to say, okay, I'm just going to take care of my area. I'm going to take care of all areas because it's all Wood County and they all have needs, and whatever's best for Wood County is the way I would go.
So Wood County commissioners are in charge of the budget for our county. Last year's budget was $22.5 million. Tax revenues will most likely be down this year due to the coronavirus epidemic. What experience do you have that will aid you in drawing up and passing the budget, especially in the time of this economic belt tightening?
Well, there again, my experience on city council. I was vice president of city council, which made me the chairman of the budget of Parkersburg. And by being on the finance committee and the public works committee and personnel, I served on all those committees. And we made decisions. We had a $33 million budget. We had a fire department, we had the police department, and we had the city sanitation. So making decisions, which is the best for the city, I would just take my knowledge with that and go over to the county. I mean, it's all the same budget. You're going to make tough budget cuts. Not everybody's going to like what you cut, but what you hope to do is cut the unnecessary. I'm not going to tell you I'm going to cut this much out of one department and this much out of another department. I'm going to see if there's any waste first. And that's basically just common sense. It's just like running a household. You take the needs first, and then any extras, then, well, we need this, but we don't really need that. And that's basically how I would run. I never, like I said, I'm an outsider. I've never been a yes man for anything. And I like to restore the economic development in this county.
So you maybe have touched on this a little bit already, but what do you see as the three largest problems facing Wood County, and what's your plan to deal with those?
Well, the three major ones are jobs, economic development, infrastructure, and the drug problem. Economic development and the jobs, I will plan on being in Charleston a lot. There's lobbyists down there, and I'm going to find out why they're not coming to Wood County, why they're not even looking at Wood County to bring a job here. There's jobs coming back every day from the overseas. Uh, if you listened to the news last night, the pharmaceutical companies are going to be looking for places to go. Why not Parkersburg, West Virginia? You know, we got a unique situation right here in Parkersburg. We are a hub. Now, most people, I don't know, but let's look at it this way. We're a hub. We could be nothing more than a in and out type of transportation. We're 6 hours away from Charlotte, North Carolina. We're 6 hours away from Ann Arbor, Michigan. We're 4 hours away from Pittsburgh, 4 hours away from Cincinnati, 3 hours away from Akron and Cleveland. You know, if you want to go to Roanoke, you can be in Washington, D.C. in 5.5 hours. So we are a hub. We're just not utilizing what we have. Not only do we have the highway, we got the railroads, and we also have the river. So that when I talk about economic development, I'm talking about all phases of economic development. Work the railroads, get the highways, and use the river. I mean, it's something we need to look at, we need to shove, and we need to promote. And that's what I'm planning on doing, promoting. Now, as far as infrastructure, it's expensive. Roads and bridges are expensive. And there again, those are all done by tax dollars. If we get the economic development started, the dollars will be there and we can take care of our roads and bridges a little easier than what we can right now. And as far as the drug problem, if we can bring in the jobs, maybe we can get people off the drugs because they'll have a self-respect again. Some of them are on there because they just feel like they just don't have anything to do. You know, we're not all made out to be electricians or carpenters or pipe fitters, you know, or truck drivers. But there's a place for everybody, and we all have our strong points. But if we don't have jobs, we're not going to be able to have a strong point. So that's what I think about the drug situation. We need to find drugs for them, and we need to get them not only cleaned up and get them back in society. That'd be the main goal.
So how often do you attend Wood County Commission meetings now as a citizen?
I attended a few, not very many. I worked. They meet between 9:30 and 1 or 12 or 1 o'clock on Mondays and Thursdays. And it's awful hard to go to a county commissioners meeting if you're working 7 to 3 or 9 to 5. You just don't make it to those meetings. I mean, I know the county commissioners. I knew all three of them. I talked to them. I talked to Steve. Anyway, I talked to Blair Couch, talked to Jimmy Glenbow, I talked to Steve Gaynor. And I kept informed there, plus the newspaper keeps you informed of what the county commissioners are doing. So when I get an opportunity to talk or see them out, I get to talk to them. And that's how I kept in touch with them. Also, when I was out, I talked to the PSD. In fact, I got to go to a meeting before this virus came along. And I've talked to the volunteer fire departments. And that's where you find out what the real needs are. I talked to Waverly, Vienna, Williamstown. Well, not Williamstown, but I have talked to Williamstown before. And I've talked to Lubeck. So, you know, there is needs and everybody has needs, but not all departments. Vienna doesn't have the same needs the Waverly has. And Lubeck, same way. I mean, it's just like every one of them has. It's like a household. You walk in different houses, we got different problems, but they still have problems and they still have to be addressed.
So this is a two-part question. We all tend to be hard on ourselves. What do you think you would say is your worst quality? And what do you think is your best quality?
Probably my worst quality is I don't think the people move fast enough for me. Okay. My best quality is I'll listen. I listen to different ideas and try to take the time to answer their question to the best of my ability. Um, but if I see something I would like to see done, I I just want it done. And I go talk to people. Well, we got this, we got that, and that just infuriates me. But anyway, that was it.
These next set of questions are the easier set. These are meant to just get to know you. What would you say is your favorite thing or place in our county?
Golf course.
We have several of those.
Yeah. When I worked construction, I worked shift work, and when I was raising a family, I attended whatever the kids were involved in. And I even coached basketball on Wood County on Saturday mornings and coached Little League Baseball for 8 years. And I enjoy that. But when the children were home, I spent more time with them, tried to support them in anything they did. They were in the band, they were in the choir, and that's if they had a concert, I tried to get there, and or a parade, I tried to get there. So supporting the kids as they were growing up was probably my biggest concern there. So when I tell you golf course, when I'm retired now, well, semi-retired, but anyway, when I get a chance, I go to the golf course. The city park, I like to go over there to walk. Not that I haven't done that for a while, but I did do it there at one time. I kind of let that walk go. I probably should get back on that walk. But basically, the city park, I like it. I like Southwood Park. But basically, I like the golf course the best.
So, Roger, what are you personally passionate about?
What I'm personally passionate about? I do not like how the county and the city is going. And that's the reason I'm getting back involved into this running for county commissioner. I want to see if I can make a change and bring businesses to Wood County. And I can't do it by myself. God will have to help me, and I'm going to have to be able to interact with a lot of different people who have the same compassion that I have for Wood County to get them here.
What would you say are your personal core values?
My personal core values: God, family, country, and without those three, there's nothing.
So I think you've already answered this question, but I'm going to ask it in case you would like to add something else with it. What do you like to do in your off time?
I like to play golf.
That's what I thought you'd say.
Yeah, I can't play baseball anymore. I mean, I can hit the ball, but if I even hit it out in the outfield, they probably still throw me out at first base because it takes me an hour and a half to get to first base. But that's kind of like it. So baseball's out. I'd just be happy if I fouled the ball off, let alone just get a hit. But yeah, it's age-wise, it's just golf is the best thing I can say.
It sounds like you've had a really interesting life. Like you said, jack of all trades, different sports. What would you say is most unique about you?
No matter whatever came up, I I never let it get me down. I mean, when I worked at John Manville, we had my daughter was in oldest daughter was in college. My youngest daughter was in junior high. My son was in high school, and they gave us a layoff slip, and it was indefinite. It was for 33 months. I was laid off, and my wife and I made it through it, and I don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah. That's hard. My dad was a steel worker and a UMWA miner before that. So, you know, I think that's the way of West Virginia. Unfortunately, most of us have felt that pain at some time or another.
Well, I felt the pain, and but it was a silver lining. In those 33 months, I went back to school. I got my apprentice license and worked non-union electrician, and happened to be at the right place at the right time. The IBEW said, "You want to go to work?" And I said yes. And I got in the IBEW, and I would never change it. And I just wish that I went to the IBEW a long time before that, because there is nothing that I enjoyed more than working with those men. And we built a building. We ran the wire to the building, and turned on the lights and walked away. And it was rewarding just to see the lights go on. I mean, it took the pipe fitters, it took the carpenters, but everybody was a skilled craftsman. And if I was ever out and they asked me what I would think of, I say, go, if you don't really like high school or you don't think you like college, go to vocational. And if you like to work with your hands and you like to see things built, vocation is the way to go. I mean, I loved it. So that's the one. That's it.
Well, with that, we've come to the end. We'd like to give you a few minutes to tell us and the voters anything else you think we need to know, including how to get more information on your campaign, how to get in touch with you, get involved, donate, etc.
Okay. I'd like to thank this today for Kim and Jennifer to ask me to be on here. I am running for county commissioner. I do bring a new look to the county as a county commissioner, and I will work for the county. There's no personal gain here. My gain is to see jobs and economic development to come here. I have a Facebook page. It's Roger E. Brown. If you want to know more about me, you can go to that. But the only thing I really want to do is go to work for the people of Wood County. And I'm just asking for the chance. So when you go vote, I'd like for you to vote for Roger Brown for county commissioner. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Roger. We're so glad you could take the time to come and talk to us this morning and let voters know why you're running and get to know you a little bit. So thank you so much. Everyone, remember, wash your hands.
Thank you.